Welcome to another edition of Living Your Best Life with Karoline and AJ. I am your host, Karoline, and my co-host is my husband, AJ. How you doing, AJ?
What's up, Dr. Karoline? How are you today?
I'm always doing great. Always living my best life. What about you?
Come on.
Okay.
You know your boy here.
Yeah.
Who's living better than me?
Nobody.
Just spoke to my financial guy. He told me I could live till I'm 95.
And
So I'm good.
Yes, he did say that.
Well,
I was on the line.
He said that for you. He said I was 85.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You know how it is.
That's
y'all women,
right.
that's what y'all do to me.
That's exactly right.
Y'all be killing us,
That's
taking
exactly
years off
right.
our lives.
He gave me more.
Come on.
10 years more.
Yeah, we're going to have a talk with this man.
Nah, that's okay. We know. Because I'm going to be here to 112. I already put that in the universe. I done told y'all.
I keep telling you, you'll make it as long as you leave me alone.
As long as you stay out of my way.
I'm going to get that shovel.
Stay out my
some
way.
bleach. You'll be in the backyard.
Okay, stop. We have to stop because we have a guest. And we can't be airing our dirty laundry. Well, we have a guest, people. Anyway, we do have a guest today,
Yes,
and
we
she's
do.
living her best life. I have sitting next to me Miss Linda Miller. Linda is the founder of HappyReadingLLC.com, a supportive community that helps educators transform their lives through time management strategies and literary wellness. She provides high-level trainings, coaching, and speaking for educators who want to work with ease and have opportunities to experience joy. Linda teaches educators how to live a life that is illuminated by what truly matters, which is serene, empowered, and full of joy, so that they live their life on their own terms. Her clients and students value her teaching style and approach to helping them reach their goals faster than they thought possible. Linda is an avid reader, loves to travel, eat a great meal, and dance to good music, just like you and I, AJ.
I love it.
Yes. She believes that you can do more with less when you have a strategy, structure, and system in place. And she is here with AJ and I so that we can talk about living our best life.
Clap it up. Clap it up.
Hey.
All right,
Yes,
but
yes, yes.
Before we get started, all right, because I have only met this woman once before,
Yes.
so this is my second time. And what's she gonna find out about me? I'm gonna put her on blast right out the gate. I have a flag that I fly out in front of my house, and I fly several different flags. I'm in the backyard chilling. Wife comes in. She's like, "Baby, your flag was." I was like, "What happened?" Brought my tools out, made a quick repair. I run out front, put my flag up. Doorbell rings, and she brings this one in the back. And she says, "I saw you put the flag up." I'm like, "Well, why didn't you call me and say something?"
It's not like she didn't know you.
So she gonna come up here. She knows she gonna hang out when she come up here creeping. Did you hear that bio she just said? She can't do none of that stuff if she don't put her mouth and speak.
Exactly.
Oh,
She ain't say nothing to me. What's up with that?
I knew I was going to see you in a few minutes.
I just had to put that in the universe for you folks to see what we operating
That's
with.
what we working with.
And I didn't want to bother you while you was doing your work.
I appreciate that, but I can multitask. Unlike most men who can do one thing, we can't chew gum and walk. I'm one of them guys who can do a few
Okay.
things at once.
All right.
You can do a
So,
couple of things.
I'm gonna let you go this time, but the next
Okay.
time I got you.
Okay. Okay.
You can do a couple of
Well,
things.
welcome. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, we're happy to have you. So, one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on this show is because ever since I met you, you have been on the move.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, she's been on the move. She's doing everything, and everything is positive. I'm like, you know what? I see you.
Thank you.
I see you,
I like
and I
that.
need to have you on my show.
Thank you.
So,
Thank
how you doing?
I'm doing good. It's a little hot, but I'm all right.
It's cooler than it was.
Oh,
But I'm
yeah.
glad that I can feel the heat and the coolness.
Yeah, I
That's
like that.
true. That is absolutely true.
I like
Somebody
that.
woke up and they didn't feel anything.
Tell me about it. That's one of my favorite lines.
Preach.
I don't care how bad my day is going. Somebody didn't get a chance to get that day. So I like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we always give our guests an opportunity to talk about themselves because, me and Al, we will talk about ourselves all day. So we want to give our guests a chance to talk about themselves. So, you have to sell yourself. So tell us all about you. Tell us what we did not hear in this bio because we can read a bio,
Right.
but
Okay.
we want to know about you.
Well, one, I'm a mom of a 37-year-old.
Okay.
I'm a speech therapist by trade.
Ooh.
I
okay.
work with deaf and hard of hearing students. I love what I do. I love traveling. I love doing all. I'm an avid reader. So anytime you find me, I usually have a book in hand.
my love language.
For real.
Yes.
I usually do. I just like to have fun. I love to laugh. I love to have other people laugh by my laugh. And I've been
Okay.
told that it's contagious. So.
Okay, well that's good. We're gonna have a good time
Right, I
here
like that.
today. We're gonna have a good time.
And I love being around people who are open-minded, not living in a box,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
and willing to just, go for it, whatever it is. Even if it's not right, you got an opportunity to do it again.
There you go.
As long as you keep waking up, you have an opportunity to keep doing.
I
Exactly.
like that.
And I've learned over time, stop hindering yourself.
Oh, we do that all the time.
Stop it. Like, it doesn't matter what you may think or you may think. I have to say, you know what? Thank you, God. Thank you for giving me the opportunity and the desire. Let's go.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
So I would like to walk back a little bit.
Okay.
I'd like to know where you were born and do you have siblings?
Okay, so I was born in the Bronx,
Uh-oh. BX?
right? So I'm the youngest of four.
Okay.
And then when I was 4, we moved to Jersey. So I've been living the
okay.
majority of my life in Patterson, New Jersey.
Okay.
okay.
All right. P-Town.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I worked Patterson for 10 years. You give me a street and give me a house number, I'll tell you the color.
Oh,
That's
wow.
how well I knew Patterson.
Wow, wow. And parents are have my roots in South Carolina. My father's from Charleston, and my mother's from Saluda,
One
South
of them
Carolina.
geekies.
Yes. Yes. Somebody who understands. You understand red rice?
I know all that.
Okay.
I'm from North
Somebody.
Carolina.
Okay. Come on.
You know.
People don't understand what red rice is.
We got you. We got
Yes.
you.
Somebody
We
who
are
understands.
cultured here.
We are pretty cultured.
I love it.
There's nothing we haven't tried, and things that we haven't tried, we are going to still
You
try.
need to stop sitting up there being so polite. Because
What?
where's your roots from? Your mom and dad.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, you mean my mom and dad? Because I
Exactly.
was born in Brooklyn and moved to Teaneck when I was 2. So
But we ain't talking about you. We talking
that's
about
what
your
you
roots.
said, my roots. Okay. So my mom and dad were from South Carolina.
Exactly.
Bennisfield.
Okay.
So y'all
Yeah.
got y'all list that energy already.
Yeah.
That y'all didn't even know y'all were looking for each other.
No.
But that energy was in the universe and y'all was found each other.
Most of us will say that we came from the South somewhere, whether it was South Carolina or North Carolina. We Virginia, somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then
But
my
it's
mother
nice
and
to
father
fill that.
moved back, not to South Carolina. They moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. That's where their last resting places was.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we Southern girls. Well, I'm a Northern girl, but I've got Southern roots.
Yeah. Every summer you had to go back, so
You are right.
you got dropped off during revival time.
Yeah,
And I'm
oh,
like,
right.
is that the only time we can go?
Yeah.
You are absolutely. You
I
ain't
was the rebel in the
said-
family.
You
so
ain't
they-
said nothing wrong.
When they would drive down, they would throw the rest of them out the car, and then the car would turn around. I'd be in the car heading back. No, I'd be bye. I couldn't take it down there. I'm a Northern through and through.
No.
I'd like to ask you, since growing up,
Okay.
and you worked your way to the education field. What was life like growing up? That journey you took to become the woman you are
Yeah.
now.
Let's see. Growing up with a military father.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay,
now
okay.
That's a
okay.
story right there.
All for
Okay.
one and one for all.
Okay.
So I'm the youngest, but whoever got in trouble, everybody paid the price for whoever it
That's
was.
a good man.
No,
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
he is. He teaches unity and discipline.
we didn't like it.
You didn't have to like
Yeah.
it.
I know. My father, he believed that education was his time. He
Wow.
said summertime was mommy's time.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he was the type of man
Wow.
that he would go. This is when you could just show up at school. You
Yeah.
didn't have to. You didn't have
Oh,
to make an
yeah.
appointment.
Yes, yes.
And he was best friends with the principal.
Okay, okay.
And our principal was pretty nice.
Okay.
Pretty nice. But he could just show up. He would show up in his 3-piece suit
Wow.
all the time, no matter what, and his Stacey Adams shoes.
Stacy's.
I remember those Stacey Adams.
Your pop was a player.
Right. So he'd walk in and he wouldn't disturb the class.
He'd sit there.
He just wanted to
observe.
see what the teacher was doing
Yeah.
and what
Yeah.
you were doing.
Yes, I love it.
And I'm like, well, I'm one of the good ones. Like my other sisters, they had mouth.
Yes.
Like, why are you here for me? But yeah, Daddy, he believed in school. He believed
Yeah.
that you had to bring all of your books home.
Okay. So
Okay.
he can examine them to find out what you're doing.
Right.
What's wrong
No.
with that? What's wrong with that?
All the books.
What's wrong with that?
Oh my
They
gosh.
said
Oh
you look
no.
like a slacker. I don't know how my kids made it.
Oh my goodness. Oh my. He hated when we got to high school because you didn't have to do all that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he was very effective. I mean, and then mom and dad were together,
I love
but they
it.
had their whatever they were gonna do, and they didn't. It was unity
Okay.
Yeah.
within the household. So
what we
just
like to say,
reading was a major part of it. Like when I went to I didn't go to daycare,
Okay.
but daycare was at home.
Yes, because you
So-
got it
Yeah.
at home.
Right. So I learned we didn't have all that. I don't know if they believed in that.
Right.
They believed in just taking care of their kids.
I ain't believing that either.
Yeah, we
my
didn't do
kids.
that either. I stayed home.
Yeah, they
Right,
said
but-
if you saw one
Yeah.
Jones, just count 1,000 women. Here they come.
Right.
Yeah,
So we knew what to do
Yeah.
by the time we went to school. So I'll give you a story. So in our house, you couldn't say why. Parents said whatever they said, you couldn't ask why. So that was not allowed. You're in trouble if you're asking, well, why I can't.
Okay.
Okay, you just better do what you told.
Right. So when I went to school and it was saying the ABCs, I would omit why. And the teacher said, well, Miss Linda, you have to say. I said, no.
Z.
I said, no. Daddy said there's no why.
There's no
She
why.
had to call the house and had to get the information. He said, no, there is no why in my house.
Okay.
But the alphabet, so he had to explain to me. I'm like, well, that's the rule, and I'm not getting in trouble.
Wow.
Exactly.
So that's, the ingrainment was
Yeah.
going on there.
What I'm hearing here, and this is again, I don't think y'all really understand how kindred sisters you are. Her father, military man.
yeah, I went through the
But
same
he wasn't
thing. I'm
as
listening to you.
disciplined
Yeah.
as your father was.
Too
But
disciplined.
the obedient child,
Yeah.
her,
Me,
and I'm
yeah.
hearing that from you too.
Yeah.
We had no choice.
There are some people who just
like it.
there are some people who just get it. At the time, there's 12 of us.
okay.
But he's right. I was the obedient child, and I stayed that way even as I got older.
Okay.
It still took a long time for me to understand. No, you're grown now. You can kind of do what you want to do. But you know what happens when things are ingrained in
Right.
you, so you just kind of stick with it. So there you go.
Yeah. So
But you can't complain because look at you. Right? And look at me. So we say to ourselves, we needed that so we can be the women we are
I
today.
guess.
Yes.
But when I had my daughter, I didn't want to be like that.
Yes, of course.
So
Me
I
either.
changed up a little bit.
course.
There's still structure. There's still
Yes.
order.
Yes.
There's still what you have to do what I say.
Yes.
But as she got older, it was so funny. Our church had parenting classes, so they wanted to change the outlook on if you were a teen mom.
Okay.
So they wanted to change that aspect of what that looked like and how people would treat you.
Okay.
And what I enjoyed what our pastor did, he had some of the older women who may have been married now, but they were teen moms at one point.
Yes.
And he had them leading it. So it was just
Yes.
like they was throwing their arms around it. So it's not like it's a stain.
Yes.
It's something that happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
now we can move forward. But at the time, 'cause my daughter was laughing, she said, Mom, I'm 21. You going to parenting class? What's going on? But what I did take away and what I did learn, how to speak to her.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
don't use like always, never, those kind of terminology.
Okay.
We don't use those things. So
Wow.
you don't always not wash the dishes. You don't always something like that. We say sometimes.
Yes.
And she had the opportunity. I would give her an opportunity like an hour in a day. You can say whatever you want with reason
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
to speak your piece.
Yes. Yes. Because
And then I have to take it, and then I would work on it. And then
Okay.
years later, she said, "Ma, you're doing a good job." With one mother, that she said, "You're doing a good job." I think you're doing a good job. And I said, "You can't tell people you're a good parent. The child will tell you
Yes.
whether
Yeah.
you're a good parent or
Oh,
not."
That is preaching. You preaching right there.
Yeah.
Woo.
And I had to learn that. And I was like, you know what? She's right.
Yeah.
You can say I'm the best, but then if you are not really good with your parents, you don't
it
know.
true? Yeah.
Right? Is
Yeah.
it really true?
So you have the one daughter.
Yes, one daughter.
Okay, so you raise a single child,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm listening to you because I was the middle child, and obviously with my wife being, 1 of 12,
That
I
middle
always
sibling.
teased them. I used to say, "Y'all ain't getting nothing,"
That
No,
middle
we ain't
sibling,
and
I
we
don't
was
know.
spoiled, okay, because we was living good,
There was only 3 of you, though.
But do you feel we raising 2 children? I always felt if I raised one child, that child would have been spoiled beyond compare because I would have just what you said about how you were raised. It's not that you're breaking the cycle. You learned some incredible life lessons through that training,
Right.
but like you said, you didn't want to raise your child that way.
Right.
So do you believe you spoiled her, or you gave her what was required because the journey that you also took?
I think I gave her what was required, and I also believe that I had to grow with her.
Okay.
Because I was 18.
Yes.
So I don't know anything.
Yes.
But I still wanted to do it my way.
Okay. Okay.
And I was living at home, and that was hard.
Yes.
3 older siblings,
Three
They-
older siblings.
and
yes.
they have. I'm the youngest of the family.
Yes.
So they have no children.
Oh wow.
I'm the only one with a child. They have
So they all giving you advice.
right, and they all giving me advice. They
Right
never
advice
had a
because
baby.
you're doing it wrong.
Right,
Yes,
exactly. And then they go to mommy, and it's this. well, can I just try it out?
Wow. Okay, that's deep.
So I think that I did okay.
Oh no! I know you did
I
okay.
bet you did okay.
Oh yes, I because like I said, that's why I like to go backwards.
Yeah.
To come forward because it helps me walk the steps with you,
Okay.
so I can see your journey. And I'm loving your dad already. Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay.
And he said I can't catch a break because even the grandchild is a girl.
Yes.
Because it's all girls. I said, well.
Yes, he was looking for that boy.
The
And it's funny because my mom wanted all boys. She got all girls. And the first grandbaby and the only grandbaby
Yeah.
It's a girl.
is a girl.
You know, girls are hard. You know,
Girls are demanding.
I only have one daughter and one granddaughter.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, my granddaughter
She running things.
is running things.
You saw the backyard?
That's her backyard.
I said it was my backyard. Go
That's
back
her
there and look.
backyard. That's her
backyard. Okay. Everywhere she goes, she just take over. She come down here. She got a little set of drums upstairs. She come down here and play my drums. Like, what you doing? She's like,
Right.
pop, I got it.
She takes over.
But to your question, I don't believe I spoiled her as much. Maybe some leniency on some things,
Of course,
but not really spoiled.
Yeah.
My siblings,
Of
because they
course.
want to do things and they want to. I'm
They
like, well,
have to.
you know, you can do all that if you want to, because as she get older, the presents that she's gonna be requiring,
Yeah.
gonna cost.
From you, yes.
Yeah.
I remember it was one Christmas, and my sister, because she has kids, she loved children, but she doesn't have children.
Okay.
Right.
So she's a nurse on the baby floor, you know.
Oh.
So I think that's a part of why she stays there, because
Yeah.
she wants children. She didn't have any children.
Okay.
And one Christmas she had a big old bag, but it wasn't a lot of things in it. And so my daughter's like, "What's that?" I was like, "You be grateful."
Yeah.
But I told my sister, I said, "Look, I give my daughter 2 presents.
Okay.
One she knows and one she doesn't.
Okay.
And I still do that. And she's 37.
Okay.
And she's good with it.
Yeah.
I said, see, you buying all this stuff, she's going to be looking for it.
Exactly.
I give her 2 things. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you, I was a utility worker, and I didn't like to work overtime, but there was one week I would work overtime. That was Thanksgiving week, because it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we were off Thursday and Friday for the holiday. And I would work through the holiday, and I would work 12 to 16 hours, and then I worked Saturday and Sunday, because when that check landed, when you came to my house on Christmas, my kids was like, there's at Toys R Us. Have at it. I want to ask you another question, because I'm hearing, I can feel your father's presence. What do you feel you got from your mother?
Do things, like just try to keep things at ease. But I didn't really have a good relationship with my mom.
Okay.
Not really. But there was some things, even when the house was rocking and rolling, sometimes, parents not really getting along or arguing, she still did what as a wife would do. She still did what a mother would do. She still showed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even in our difficulties, there are certain areas and certain places and certain times, she still showed up.
Wow, I'm loving it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even though, things weren't always great, there were some things like you still have to do. You still have to show up.
Oh yeah.
You
a lot of
still
people don't
have
know
to.
that.
Yeah, you still have to show up.
Yeah.
Who else gonna show up?
Yeah.
And now being a single person, who else gonna do it?
Yeah. No,
But
right.
me.
Yeah.
But even like just making sure and taking care. Like at one point, you figure we weren't well to do,
Right.
but let me tell you, that table was always prepared.
Tell me about
Yeah.
it.
It was always spread.
Yeah.
That's right.
And Saturday we can have outside food.
Okay.
Every other day, there was a meal prepared.
Okay.
And some people say, "Well, I don't like leftovers." I said my mother would take the leftovers, and it was a new meal.
New meal.
Same
So
with
she
me.
knew what
That's
to
right.
do.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So I knew you learn those things. You
Yes.
learn how to keep it going, but you learn how to take care of the family. And sometimes, to her judgment, she would come last.
Yes.
I choose not to be last. I choose to be
Ooh.
first.
Wait a minute. Let me rewind. Say that again and say it louder, please.
My mother chose to be last. I choose to be first.
Okay, now I need you to look at her and say it again. Say it the third time.
My mother chose to be last. I choose to be first.
I get that. That's where
Okay.
my daughter is.
Feel that raindrops coming down on you?
You know what?
But I had to learn. I had to learn that.
Yes,
see-
because y'all are women and mothers. That is, I
Yeah.
believe, I don't like the stereotype, but there's certain things. Fathers ain't like that. Fathers like, look, if you remember back in the old days before we had plumbing in the house and they had the big metal tub, they would fill the tub with water. Okay? The father took the bath first. He got out. The mother did not take the bath. the kids would take
True.
well, actually, the kids did take the bath less because the line was throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was that descending line from the oldest down.
Yes,
And
that's
then
how
the
we did
last
it.
baby was
That's
because
how we did it.
and mothers always give of themselves.
Yeah.
And I guess that is a part of the condition of being a mother. And I think it translates larger into the larger thing of womanhood. Okay. But I just love what you said just now because, you know, I don't want you to walk around and be selfish, but I want you to understand that's a part of your self-worth. So you know who you are and what you will demand. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
woo, that was, I'm getting chills.
And I get that, but part of who I am is I'm a giver. I've always been a giver. So part of who I am, just like my ministry, I have a women's empowerment ministry. I work toward empowering women.
Right.
But there's a certain amount of empowerment that comes. I have to be empowered in order to be able to empower, right? I have to be filled in order to be able to help somebody else fill. So even though it may seem like I'm giving so much of myself, I do take care of myself, because if I don't take care of myself, then I won't be able to take care of all the ones around me that I do. Sometimes I get frustrated. As of yesterday, he's probably saying it because yesterday I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm done with this because I got to do some stuff. You know,
And sometimes it takes that.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
And throwing everything up. I'm done.
And one of my favorite lines when we were coming up, you know, I'd give her some money, you know, so let's just say I gave her $100, and I'd be like, and don't spend it on the kids.
Yes.
So I get it.
Yeah.
So now I would like to kind of, let's walk, because now I want to see how you got your way to become this teaching, and what steered you in that direction. Did you go to college for that? What got you just love it in school? What started bending you in that direction?
Actually, becoming a speech therapist, I was watching something on Channel 13, and I saw an interpreter.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that looks interesting. I want to do that.
Not the one with a Barack.
No, the deaf community was outraged. I was outraged. I'm like,
That's
what was
my
that?
guy.
I was outraged.
I was like, what is he doing?
That is awful.
They didn't do their research. That's the problem. That's the problem. But no, I saw that on TV, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. So I went to school. I started out in community college, because that was funny. After I had my daughter, the first question was, so you going to school? You gonna go? There's a school downtown.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they were behind me in that, like, okay, so you had a baby, okay.
That don't mean nothing.
They had to, because, they was big in the church, so they had to get past that part,
Yeah.
you and go, okay, so what we doing now? We going to school. So I started there, and then I went to William Patterson.
Oh, Willie P.
Yeah, so I did undergrad for speech therapy, and then I took off time, and with my daughter, and then trying to get in school, because it was hard. It was very competitive trying to get into that.
Okay.
So I wind up some years later, I think it was 2002.
Okay.
I wind up going out of state to Northern Arizona University.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, they had a summer program. So a lot of us, because they were changing the rules on your degrees, so a lot of people went there just to get that together.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
so I had to go all the way out to Arizona, which was cool. And it was interesting because my oldest sister, I left her with my daughter. And then I learned
The
that.
one that was the nurse?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Well, let me take that back. She's a nurse as well.
Okay, but she's not that one.
No, not that
Okay,
one.
because I was like, she was raising her baby. She was
Oh,
happy.
no.
Okay.
No. And that's the thing, because I had moved out.
Okay.
And I didn't want to disrupt my daughter's
Yes,
life because
right.
I was doing something different.
Yes.
But I also learned that you can't just leave the state without any type of guardian for your child.
Okay.
Because it's illegal.
Okay.
Right.
It's illegal.
So I had
Okay.
to, I'm like, oh, I'm glad someone
Yeah,
told me that, because
yeah.
I was just going to
Because
leave.
it would have been
'Cause we don't-
abandonment.
Right.
That's how
We did that for centuries. Ain't nobody know that.
Right, but I didn't know that somebody, when I was
Yeah.
working, they said, oh, you got to go to the notary and put your
Yeah.
sister in charge.
Wow.
So if anything happened to my daughter, she's in charge.
Y'all hear that? We putting y'all up on game out there.
Yeah, you
okay?
can't just
Anybody
leave.
thinking about that, just dot them I's and cross them T's out. Listen to that.
Right, she couldn't make a move, but she
Yeah.
can do something. But she was always calling me anyway. And
Sure.
then in that moment, she said, you do a good job, because, oh my goodness, you got to, all this stuff you got to know. And she's asking me questions. Is it true you let her do? Oh, okay. Is it okay? I said, yes. And then they bonded and they had their own relationship. So I did that for like 3 summers. So, But every summer, I had to have that paper written.
Yeah.
So she kept it at all times. So if anything happened medically, that she could take her and do things. So.
Yeah.
But that's what that was about.
No, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Speech pathology, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow, that's a very interesting
I love it. I love what I do. I love.
That's a one of one type. So
Yeah,
there ain't many
that's
folks,
a,
you know.
yeah, that's a. I'm gonna be real honest with you. I didn't know what you did in education.
They don't know what I do either,
Okay,
and,
no,
I work, and I've been working overtime.
It's so funny because the first thing AJ said to me, he goes, "Okay, so is she a teacher?
No.
What does she do?"
I
And I'm like,
yeah, hamana.
I'm like, I don't know.
I got to get the bio.
I was like, I told her to send me a bio,
And it's not even on there. I don't even think I put it on there. Yeah.
That's why we allow our guests to talk about themselves.
Absolutely.
Because it's something you always forget.
Yeah, but I love it though.
I was going to ask you what, because that, people want to tell history, they
Yeah.
want to do math, they want to do English. What is drawing you to this? Because this is not a regular type field.
Well, one, I can do as I please
Okay.
within parameters.
Yeah.
And I'm helping someone communicate. Someone who has difficulty communicating in such a way, I'm giving them the tools and strategy to do that
Okay.
so that they can be with ease. Because there's nothing more frustrating than you're trying to tell your wife something and you can't get it out. And she's assuming what you're trying to say. She's assuming what you want, and you're getting mad, and then you start acting out because
course.
you're frustrated.
Of course.
And then, or you just give up.
Yeah.
And you go and you don't talk at all, or you don't try to communicate, because communication,
Start shutting down.
right?
Sure.
Communication, 90% is nonverbal.
Yeah.
10% we talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just trying to, and I really love it, like just coming up with different activities, just trying to figure it out. I remember it was one student I had, and he nonverbal student, no words at all. So then one day he knew where I kept all the playthings. So I knew what he liked. I found out he liked Play-Doh.
Okay.
I said, okay. Because that's why you try to find out something they like, then maybe they'll spark something.
Okay.
And so one day we were sitting there, and then all of a sudden he went to the cabinet, and he started hitting it. And I'm like,
What's up?
okay, let's go, let's work this out. And then he started pointing. I was like, oh my goodness, he communicated. He wanted to Play-Doh. I'm like, yes.
Okay.
Now, what ranges of ages are you
age
dealing
range.
with?
I work from pre-K to 8th grade.
Oh, that's a large range.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm in the
Yeah.
elementary school.
Okay.
Yeah, and they
What-
have different needs.
Right, they have
Yeah,
different
so
needs.
I didn't know you did full on nonverbal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, sometimes it depends. And
Yeah.
sometimes it'll spark, and sometimes they will talk. Like we always tell the parent, I'm not a magician. I don't know when or if
if
your
they're
parent
gonna-
will talk.
yeah.
I mean, excuse me, your child will talk.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like when my daughter was born, she was born early,
Okay.
right? And she didn't speak.
Okay.
So you know how they're hitting the baby?
Yes.
And my mom is in the room with me, and I'm like, well, mommy, are you going to keep letting them hit the baby? Like, what's going on? Is she alive or dead?
Yeah.
They
wow.
they had to whisk her off to the NICU
Yes.
because of oxygen or whatever was happening with her. And I'm like, but so I understand a parent wants to hear
Your
their
baby-
child.
yes,
I
yes.
get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I sometimes try to professionally tell the parent, you have to have, if your child didn't come out the way you thought,
Yes.
you have to have a funeral for the one you thought you was going to have,
Okay.
and then celebrate the one you have.
I love
Okay,
that. That's good.
That's a
Okay.
very good.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because
Okay.
if not, you're going to be frustrated for life.
You're trying to make them
Absolutely.
something they're not.
Right.
Okay.
You have to work with them. So, but yeah, I love what I do. Like,
Right.
I wouldn't change it. And I don't want to be in a classroom.
Yeah.
I don't want to be stuck in a box. Even though we have such great teachers, that's just not my calling.
Okay, well, I hear you.
And
It
do
ain't
you-
everybody's calling. I got that.
Do you
Yeah.
go from school to school? Are you located in one particular
Now,
school?
I'm in
And-
one school.
Okay.
I'm in one school. But I've done that school to school to school.
Okay.
I don't like it that much.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So
And-
you like being stationed in one
I like
place.
being stationed because it makes you feel like you're at home.
Okay, I got that.
But sometimes, like last year, I had to go into a different school to help a colleague out,
Yep.
which was fine because it was a break.
Okay.
So it was like, okay, I get a break because sometimes you need a break.
Sometimes you need a break.
Yeah. So.
And that story you just told was incredible. Give us one where you kind of, you're on this journey, you're doing it, and when you had that breakthrough moment with one of your students, you were like, "Oh, I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing."
Okay, so you ever watch Charlie Brown?
Yes.
Of course.
And Charlie Brown's teacher.
Yes.
Okay,
Wah,
so
wah, 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 wah.
okay, so I had a student, God rest his soul, he passed away a couple years ago.
Okay.
And he stuttered. Well, he had serious articulation problems
Okay.
where it sounded like Charlie's Brown teacher, like
Wow.
no joke.
Okay.
Wow.
You had to know the context of what was happening, or you wouldn't know what he was saying.
Okay.
A couple of years later, so every 3 years we test our students to see what their progress. Do they still need extra services or not? If not,
Okay.
we keep going and keep building.
Okay.
In 3 years, like 3 to 4 years, all of a sudden, he was talking. clearly.
Wow.
Clearly.
That's a yes.
And I'm like,
Clearly.
Yes.
Went from Charlie Brown's teacher to clearly talking.
to clearly talking.
That's amazing and should be celebrated.
Okay.
Yes, clearly talking. I was like so excited for him because I'm like, that was one of those times.
Okay, see, people, are you feeling that? Anytime you're doing something that you feel is a passion of yours or your life work, and when you have those breakthrough moments, because you talked about needing that break, and sometimes you got to go recharge yourself, but it's moments like that that make you dig down the trenches and say, this is why I'm here, this is why I do what I do.
Exactly. You have, It always brings you back to your why.
Yes.
Because sometimes...
Whoa.
You can't
I thought we said we couldn't say why.
Oh.
Yeah. It doesn't bring us back to our why.
Yo, Pop, I got you.
No.
All right, we're going to make an exception today because we're on the podcast. All right?
I love it. But no, it's those days where you're having like a bad day. And it's like, okay. I also had like a parent, good parent. She said, I just want you to just work with my child. No, I said, okay. Nobody was picking her up. I'll pick the child up. I work with her. But in the end, the family.
Got in the way.
No. The family were thankful. So when the child, when she's a twin. So when they graduated, it's like we're inviting you to the celebration.
Yes.
I'm like, so it was me and a couple of other people who worked with their child, and all the family is walking around. Thank you for working with her. We understand her. Thank you for working with her. And it was like the family understood.
Yes.
And they were appreciative to that. So I'm like, I just think I'm just, doing
what I'm
something.
supposed to do. Yeah.
And I will always go back to the mom, because sometimes I was having a bad day with some parents, and she would go, Miss Miller, just tell them the good news. I'm like, sometimes they don't want to hear the good news.
Yeah.
But I will always go back to her, and I can always call her up and just talk with her because we became friendly.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You can't pay for that.
No,
Yeah.
you can't.
Yeah, I love it.
I said, that's the only parent I have a phone number for. That's it. That's all I want.
I love it.
So let's shift gears a little bit,
Exactly.
because clearly you are an awesome woman.
Yes,
Every single
I heard
thing
that bio.
and every single thing that you have just said has solidified the fact that you are an awesome woman, and why I obviously was drawn to you. But no, ain't no.
Well, I was drinking when we met, so
No. But I want you to start talking about what makes you come alive. Now I can tell you what my favorite quote is.
Okay.
My favorite quote from Howard Thurman is this.
Oh, it's not one of mine?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And I have to tell myself this when he talks about how I give so much of myself and sometimes forget who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So Howard Thurman says this: don't ask the world what it needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive and go do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. And when I heard that quote, I said to myself, I have to make sure that through my life I am doing the things that make me come alive, because that will bring out me. And that is how I help people. By myself bringing out myself that makes me come alive. So I'm asking you this question: what makes Linda come alive? What brings everything out of you?
Being me, being present. I say the present is your presence is the present. So that's what I give myself. Being present, being in the moment, having no holds barred, just doing it. And my friends would say, you always jumping out the window. I'm like, well, sometimes you just gotta go. I can't. Sometimes I can't. I don't like being in the box.
Okay.
I don't like being in the box. I like space. I like room.
Yep.
So being able to let myself go and like laugh at myself and just, those are the things that make me come alive, and doing whatever I want to do. And I think that started when I embraced the word no.
Okay.
The day I embraced the word no,
Okay.
that's when I actually came alive.
Let's talk about that.
So doing what everybody else wants. Even something simple as going to the mall with my family, knowing I don't want to go. Just because you want me to go. And I'm not happy. Then I'm mad. Then I want to talk about why I didn't want to go. but I'm fussing, about it because I should have just said no.
Right. And stealing your joy.
Right. But I allowed that.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
can't get mad at them.
Can't be mad. No.
I had to be mad at myself.
Yeah.
So once I truly just said, you know what? No, I don't want to do this. No, I don't want to do that. No. I don't
Game
wanna do
changer.
that. And also, what made me come alive, this year, it'll be 16 years that I had spinal surgery. So if you touch the top of your neck to the bottom where you curve where you sit, that was my surgery. Right. So I was
You got
born
one
with
of them nice
scoliosis.
scars on your back.
Yes, I do.
Woo!
Yes, I have titanium rods in my back.
Yes.
So
Sonia had scoliosis
Yeah.
growing up, and one
Right.
of my good friends.
so I did that at 40 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was like the talk of the hospital. They still talking. So it's a couple other people like that.
Yes.
And just because we were so old. But in that moment when I met the doctor, met the surgeon, he said, well, I don't do this surgery, just to do it. He said, you have to be a certain degree.
Mm-hmm.
So I was 63 degrees in the wrong direction.
Okay.
And he said, that's messing up your whole body. So if you decide that you don't want to do this surgery, then have all your paperwork written out, tell your family goodbye, because your body's breaking down.
Okay.
I was like, well, I'm ready. Ready. And I think going through that process, that also gave me a new leash on life.
Yes, it's almost like you had a rebirth.
Right.
So can I ask you, prior to that, what was I'm a big on quality of life.
Okay.
So prior to that, what was your quality of life? Did that impede the things that you were trying to do?
Later on in the years. Now I partied.
Okay.
I went out. If you know anything about women in 6-inch heels,
Oh.
Yeah.
I wore those all the time.
Okay.
Even with the crooked back. Even
Not
with
me.
that.
When I met you,
Yeah, but but you know what happened.
Yeah.
So I was in a bad car accident over 35 years ago, and
Yeah.
I had to stop wearing heels.
but when I met her, she was
I wore heels,
that same type.
because that's what
Okay.
we do. We wear
Right.
heels.
Unless I was at
and-
work. Where
Yeah.
I worked, I couldn't wear them. But other than that, throughout the week, I walked like they were sneakers.
Yeah.
And did you have, because, I met my I call her my oldest friend from school. We met in the 8th grade, but we didn't become friends to the 9th grade. But she had the brace on her back and everything. So you didn't have none of that?
No.
Okay, that's why I was asking you, did it impede your quality of life?
When I stopped doing a lot of things, that's when it started impeding. Putting
Okay.
on weight and
Yeah.
then just stopping doing
Active
things.
and- okay.
Stop being active. I couldn't lay still. I was never comfortable.
Were you in pain during that time?
All the time.
All the time. Okay.
All the time. Like, people say, well, take a Motrin.
I
After
was
a
going to
while.
ask you, did you, because what we do then is self-medicate to the
Right.
point where we
It
don't
wasn't
realize is that it's...
It wasn't working. So
Okay.
I drink tea for everything. So I said, no,
Okay.
I'll just drink a cup of tea.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah. So
All right.
I'm really glad you.
Wow, that's illuminating.
Yeah, but I'm glad she brought up the age thing, because as you know, Al, earlier this year, my doctor wanted me to have surgery because I have degenerative disc disease.
Okay.
I refused. I said no, only because of my age. I'm 63 years old. I ain't trying to go under the knife in my spine. I'm just really not doing it.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Especially when you're talking about the back.
Yeah.
Right. I was excited.
Yeah.
I said, I wish I had an outer body experience because I would have loved just to see what you guys are doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you can watch what was happening.
Right.
Yes.
Like, this is
Very
amazing.
scary though.
And I imagine it's so funny.
One slip to the left.
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm talking
all of a
about.
sudden, you
Next thing
can't
know-
do this.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of
You're
discomfort,
dragging it.
and
You're
now you're
dragging that.
paralyzed. It's like,
Yes.
Right,
no.
exactly.
So, nah,
100%.
nah. I'm still not convinced.
And what
But
I-
I'm glad that obviously it worked out for you.
Yes.
Yes. And I'm thankful that we had many conversations and the doctor was like, ask me anything. Look me up. Because I'm like, did you have malpractice? I'm asking all kinds of questions. And he's like, no, but you can look me up. He said, I like when people ask questions.
Yeah,
and I'm looking on his shelf. I want to make sure you got current books up
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So just doing my own research.
Okay.
I'm going to make an assumption that this was done at the wonderful Hackensack Medical Center.
Sorry, St. Joseph Patterson.
Wow, because I was born in Hackensack. That's why I'm asking,
No.
But I know St. Joseph's very well, too.
Right.
So,
And now
okay.
he's like the head of that department.
Okay.
So I said, oh, all right.
Yeah. I mean, quality of life is important. obviously things would change if I wasn't able to move about.
Right.
And I am still able to do that. So
Because I would have kicked you down the stairs if you couldn't move.
Because you still, and that's the one thing the doctor said, you will always have to work out.
Oh,
you will
yeah.
always have to do some type of exercise.
Yeah.
He said, I'm, and what he said, I really enjoy. He said, I am not God.
Yeah.
He said, but I am good at what I do.
I'm good. Yes.
He said, I can give you 90. Now
Yes.
the other 10,
You got to work on
you
it.
gotta do that. And I love
Absolutely.
that piece when he said that. He said, I am not God. And I was like, all
Good.
right, God.
But what I do know about you is that you do a lot of walking.
Yes.
Yes, so let's talk about that because
Look.
that's important. Let's get our health. Women, we have to do those 10,000 steps a day because it's important not only for your body but your heart. Let's talk about our health as women.
I love walking. I
Yes.
love going out. I've done 2 5K walks.
Okay.
I think I placed in the second one by age. I was like, thank
Okay.
you, age.
Okay.
But it was really good. I don't run, but I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that was the one thing our trainer at the time wanted to push us. Like we thought she was going to do the walk with us, the first one, and
Yeah.
she's like, "No, I just came to support you."
I'm supporting you.
Right, but we didn't know. We thought she was coming out too. But that was the start of it. And just like I started with a wheelchair.
Yeah.
4-prong walker, 2-prong walker,
Yes.
cane,
Did
until
you
I
have
could
the
walk
tennis
on my
balls
own.
on the bottom of yours?
On what?
On the walker. You know how the
Yes.
whole people had them tennis balls?
Yes, you had all of that. I mean, I remember not being able to know to walk. I
Yeah.
had to relearn.
Yes.
And even eye-hand coordination. I had to
Yes.
learn, like when I was in the hospital,
Oh.
I told my sisters, I could, bring a mirror so I know where the food's supposed to go.
Yes.
So all of that, certain things are still weak, but
Yeah.
even, I always like, even the way I tie my shoes, like, but it's okay.
Because you started all over again.
Right.
Okay.
But it's okay. But you have to, that mental that I get,
Yes.
that mental
fortitude. Just, yeah.
When I'm out there walking, I'm looking at nature and,
Yes.
and the trees are talking to me, the birds. I'm like, hey, what's happening? All of these things, and I feel good. And sometimes I'm like, come on, who want to walk with me? Let's go. So I
Yeah.
joined Girl Trek.
Girl Trek, yeah.
So I love Girl Trek
Yeah.
because they are about that health,
Okay.
and they're very positive.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, and I love it. So sometimes I try to get my sisters because they going through some changes.
Yes.
And
Yep.
I'll say, well, let's go. Then
Come
I
on
say,
and join.
so on the days I go with them, I'm not doing my walk.
Yeah.
But I say, okay, let's go somewhere where maybe there may be benches so we can walk, sit, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
Because if you want to go walk, let's go. Because
Yes.
we're walking at this point as a family,
Yes,
doing
yes.
something as a unit,
Yes.
and building, community with one
Yes,
another.
absolutely.
But I'm always out there walking.
Okay.
I went walking the other day. Went to Garrett Mountain.
Oh, yeah.
I know it
that's
well.
right,
The little
yeah.
lighthouse up there.
Yeah.
I know Garrett Mountain well.
Right, and
Yep.
and they're fixing things up there now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't been in a minute,
Yeah,
but
we've done that a couple of times.
Yeah,
Because,
man.
my daughter has her own hiking. Because I invited you to the
Right.
Hike-a-lution.
Yeah, I couldn't come to
you
that
couldn't,
one.
But maybe you'll come next month.
Yeah.
Or,
Okay.
because I'm not going to invite you to the one tomorrow because I won't even be there.
Okay.
But next month, maybe we
Okay.
can walk together.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
but no, for your health, I love doing different things. Even recently, I don't know if you used to work out with. He's a guru. He just passed away.
Oh,
Sweat
Simmons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Richard
Yeah,
Simmons.
yeah, Richard Simmons.
Yeah, he was one of my first mentors in our
Yeah.
house, Jacqueline and
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
So all
Jack
that,
LaLanne was my guy.
right,
Yeah.
all
I
that
joined
working
Jack
out.
LaLanne gym.
What we
First and
loved
only gym I
about
ever
Richard
joined.
Simmons is it was fun. We were
Yes.
just having
Yeah.
fun.
And you had
Yeah,
all
yeah.
different shapes and
Yeah,
sizes,
yeah,
and then they
yeah.
would show the results.
Yes.
So it's like, oh, I can do it too.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So all of those things, I love it. So we've been working out, and I do it now because I have to, but
Yes,
I also
to
make
keep
it
yourself.
fun.
Yes.
Yeah, make
Okay.
it fun.
Yes, make it fun.
See,
So,
and that is why you're living your best life.
Yes.
Because here is what we say all the time. You have every reason to play the woe is me card, right?
Yes, yes.
But you don't. Because you have understood how precious life is, and
Yes.
you live every moment, and that's what living your best life is all
Especially when my
about.
man say to you, might as well
Exactly.
sign out because you're gonna be checking out. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And that's what we're talking about. We're not saying you don't have to have
You ain't got to run a
fancy
marathon.
car,
Right.
Yeah.
all this stuff. You just simply have to understand that life is in the now. Like you
Right.
say, you living in the present, right?
Right.
It's in the now. Don't be waiting for tomorrow to do anything. Don't be saying, I'm going to wait till I retire, or I'm going to wait till next week. No, live your life right now, because ain't nobody's life guaranteed. Anything could happen.
Exactly. A lot of people wait for like the weekend. When I go on the weekend, I'm going to relax. There should be a time in your day every day that you can find a relax period.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even if
Yeah.
it's a half hour. I mean, sometimes it depends. And I always say
Yeah, you
things
get
are
busy.
seasonal.
Yes.
You may be busy in the winter, or you're busier in the summer or spring or fall. It depends on what's happening.
Right.
But every season should not be a busy season.
Yeah.
It should not be. There should be a slow period where you can kind of regroup and do some other things to relax.
And do some things that you enjoy.
Right.
Always do
Find
things
those
you
hobbies
enjoy.
again.
Yes.
What's that hobby that you put down?
Exactly.
What's that thing?
Exactly.
You know, I'm seeing all these different things, instruments around me, looking at it, and I'm like,
oh, absolutely.
I'm like, do I need to bring my violin out? Like, let me-
Hold. You want us to go upstairs and get the violin?
I was going to say, we can go upstairs and get the violin. Yes, ma'am.
No, I need to do a little bit more practice. But I did that when I was in 5th grade.
Yeah.
Ms. Zakian came, that was her name. She came to our elementary school. Now, we didn't know who she was. We just know she was a Caucasian woman, came to our school because predominantly black and brown. And she had a bag full of violins. And she talked to the principal, and she went to our class. She said, so we had, I guess we would call us like the Hope class at the time. That's what they call it now in schools.
Okay.
And she said, but the kids have to be A and B students.
Yes,
because
that's good. Give them a bar.
Right, there was
Yes.
a period where we would have to come out of class.
Yes.
So they would be able to pick up whatever they missed in class.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was a group of us, and we were doing it, and I picked it up well.
Yeah.
But in our town, in our area, no one's playing the violin.
Absolutely.
No.
I played it too.
Yeah.
But we didn't know,
Yeah.
so I picked it up well. But then everyone started dropping off.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
the last one, and I'm like, you know what?
The violin is
I'm
not
a
the
dra-
popular instrument.
It wasn't
And it's
the
hard to
yeah.
play, honestly.
Yeah.
right.
But you have fun. I had so much fun playing it. You had fun
I had
playing
fun.
it, right?
I had
Yeah.
fun playing it. So what happened was, so I put it down. But 40 years later, when I turned
40
50,
years later. 40
yes.
years later.
I picked it back up.
Okay.
Oh, good for you.
I picked it back.
Yes.
I
Because
did.
Because I told Al I'm going to go upstairs and
Yep.
get the violin so I can start playing.
I picked it
And I
up.
told her
that.
no.
And
No,
he
no,
told me
don't
no.
do it.
He told me no. He told me
The
no.
two
Do it.
worst instruments.
No.
If you have if you have children in your home, the hands down two worst instruments to ever have your kids play are drums and the violin.
Because loud.
Everything else,
Yeah.
piano, trumpet, you can deal with it. Drums, violin, until they get that tone together.
I mean, but you
That's
know
like
what?
chalk. That's like on the blackboard. Oh.
Excuse me, Al Jones Sr.
I'm just saying, baby.
I heard you when you first started playing the keyboards. It was not pretty.
It was not.
It was not.
Isn't that a loud instrument?
Listen,
It was not.
and he could not play. Okay,
And I paid. What do I do?
but I endured.
So let me tell the story.
endured.
I always say that
Ain't
when I
no
started playing,
story to tell.
I could sit down and play drums. But when I started playing piano, this was my line to all my friends. I said,
It was bad.
we had a 1-bedroom apartment. I said, and I had a little miniature Casio keyboard. I said, I come home and I torture my family. So I had to go take lessons because I knew I was horrible.
But we endured
But I took 2 years after that.
because we don't
I'm
never.
the Black Mozart.
I don't never stand in the way of people. This is why this place looks like that. I just brought my grandson a guitar. The reason why we have a violin in the first place, it wasn't enough that my daughter played in school. She said to me, "Ooh, I love the violin. I want to play it forever." And so I brought her one.
Right.
And forever turned into what? A month.
She couldn't play to save her life either. When your brother, 5 years younger than you, picks it up, you had lessons. He picks it up and makes a better sound than you. We know it's not your instrument, baby. Now, wait a minute. You read some other things on that paper. Didn't you say something about some empowerment and things that she's doing?
Yeah, for teachers. Let's talk about that. a
Yeah,
little bit. Let's talk
I
about
need
that.
to hear a little bit more about that.
How much time we got? We got time, right?
We are eclipsing the 49
All right, we got
minute
we
mark.
got plenty of time. Let's talk
Yes.
about that. Talk about
Okay.
how you empower those teachers.
Okay, so I'm a coach for educators.
Okay, now what does that mean? You saying that to me and you looked at me like, AJ, you know what that means. I don't know what that means.
You know what that
You got
means.
to break that down to me, Linda.
Because you know everything, AJ.
I don't know that.
All right, so being in the educational field, a lot of us go through burnout.
Okay.
We're doing, and we're not resting. We're not figuring out a way. So in my field, time management has to be your friend.
Okay.
Because there's reports, there's testing, there's seeing your kids, there's having meetings, there's talking to parents, there's talking to colleagues. You have to fit all that stuff in
Okay.
into your schedule that you make. No one makes your schedule for you. You make your own schedule. But sometimes you can become overwhelmed because when we do a lot of testing, sometimes we get out-of-state students, and those students come first. So let's say I have 10 kids to test.
Yes.
That one that came in, I have to test them now first.
Okay.
And it takes us, and it's a time period. So
Yes.
we have 30 days to get that together.
Okay.
So now that's on top of my caseload.
Okay.
So I'm still supposed to be seeing kids. I'm still having meetings. So this is what I help the educators do. figure out how to do more with less, because you have to have a strategy of how to systemize your whatever you have going on.
Sure.
And I'll tell you this, October 6, 2021, I had a medical event. So my blood pressure went up sky high. Didn't know what was going on, but I already knew that during that time when we came back from virtual learning, that we were getting slammed with work. It was just out of control.
Pandemic, yes. Okay.
Right. We were getting slammed. Everyone thought that their child needed related services, and it was just out of control. And I was just so angry and just frustrated dealing with the death of my older sister. All of this stuff happening and not realizing that my pressure was up. So one day I went upstairs that day to the nurse, and she said, you need to go to your doctor today.
Yes.
Couldn't get in. I said, I'm not going to the emergency room because all I'm going to do is sit there. If nothing wrong with my breathing or my heart, they're not going to take me. So I go home.
Yeah.
So we, do what we need to do. Family came by. We were checking. It took all night
For it to go down?
for it to go down.
Wow.
And I was just laying down.
Yes.
Next day I go to work. I said, okay, maybe it's all right. She said, okay. That's when they were checking the kids and everything for COVID and all those things in the morning, checking the temperatures. She said, come see me afterwards. 8:30. My pressure is still the same as it was the day before. They said, you got to go home. I had to go home. I had to get sent home and all of that. And it was all because of the pressure that me not speaking. And when one of my coworkers found out about it, she said something. And luckily she did, because it was like the two boys like, well, you didn't say anything. I'm already drowning. And I didn't realize I was already in deep ocean.
Yes.
But you hadn't been checking on me.
Yes.
So that anger and just like whatever, it was just too much. So I really had to fine tune what I was doing. Because you ever throw stuff on the wall and see if it works?
Yep.
That's what I had been doing.
Yep. Just didn't see what sticks.
Right.
Yep.
Didn't really have a system in place. But now there is a structure and a system in place. And really what it does, I teach them how to manage their time that help to decrease the overwork and the burnout.
Okay.
And that's been working for some individuals. So I've been training, doing workshops on it, and doing private coaching as well.
And who else was doing that prior to you doing it?
I don't know.
So you basically, it was a need, you saw it.
Yeah.
And of course you had to break down during the process. Then you said, let me figure this out. Oh, this is what works. Oh, I can help other people. Let me show you how to do this.
Exactly.
And I think it was actually God ordained because I wasn't thinking about that.
Okay.
Even having a company.
Yeah.
That wasn't something that I really thought. I had a book club. I have an online book club, and I was okay with that. But then all of a sudden, like every time I slept, I would wake up and I would have ideas all the time. So I have like pads of things. And I'm like, what's happening, God? What's going on? This is when we're talking? Is this what's going on? Yeah. But then also with the company, my older sister, she had a lot of health challenges.
Okay.
And at one point, she had lost her memory.
Wow.
She had long-term memory, but her short-term. To the point where we had to keep every day going, hey, what's my name?
Yes.
What's my name? What's your name? What's your birthday? Those simple
things. She could tell
things.
your phone number from back when she was a kid.
Right.
Wow.
Right, but then God touched her, and those things had come back. So now my first book club was her. So we would always, compete. Who's going to read the most books and all, and then we would talk about the books. So, like I said, she was in pain all the time. So finally, maybe like a year or so before she passed away, she got the love to come back to reading. So the first time, she would just hold the book. She would go in her room. She would come out in the living room, and she would just hold it. And I said, well, we're not going to press her.
What?
No, she's the oldest, and she still say, I'm grown.
Yep, everything in due time, yes.
So then after a while, she started opening the book. She started and I realized her body started calming down. Her attitude got better. So I'm like, it's something to this reading. So there's properties and principles and science behind reading that is not just about your comprehension, your cognitive skills. It also can do something to your whole overall harmony for your body.
1,000%.
So that's really what the company is kind of based off of. And then the coaching kind of like branched off into that, and the speaking branched off into that. So I do a lot of speaking for far as like our union. I speak about time management. I speak about other things for the students I work with. So it kind of like just made its own branches from the tree. And I say thank you, God, because none of that
you weren't planning none of that.
No, I had a book club. I still have a book club, and that's it.
That's how it happens.
And I said, okay.
I love it. I just, but I will say a couple things to that. One thing I always say is that, sometimes we have a plan, and the best thing about life is life has a different plan. But what happens to most of us is what you said earlier about your child, have the funeral, for that child and then deal with this new birth. A lot of us stay so married and try to stay on that brand, not realizing it's taken away from where we're supposed to go. But the minute you embrace that next new thing, but the problem with a lot of people is they're afraid to embrace the new thing.
Right.
Because especially when it's new and it's something you haven't done, you don't feel you have the skill set. And sometimes you just got to close your eyes and you just got to take that step and just go out on faith and just know, I wouldn't be going this direction if I didn't at least have the beginning of what I needed.
Right.
And now it's up to me, once I get up and running, to keep this thing rolling.
Right. You have to believe in it. You have to actually believe that what you're doing, even what you're doing with your ministry, you have to believe that you're going to help transform other people.
Yes.
Because I'm not just doing it. Yes, I want to make money. Let's be clear. I want to make money. But I also want to see transform lives.
Yes.
We had an empowerment conference for work. And I met a couple of people, and they're like, hey, I'm doing the thing that I said I wanted to do. Thank you for doing it. That's transformation.
Yes.
That means I did what I was supposed to do, how it was supposed to be done, because they have been transformed. And then that helps me as well. Like, okay. So now I always say I don't want to be a teacher, but in this area I have become a teacher.
Yes.
So that's different. So I can no longer say I'm not a teacher, because now in this area of my life, I am teaching.
I'm in that arena,
Absolutely.
yes. Without trying to do formal teaching.
Right.
Indirectly, it put me right in that
Absolutely.
bucket.
Sure did.
I love it.
As you know, I don't do formal teacher. I'm a secretary there. But you know that I teach.
Right.
And I've been teaching for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
In January, I will be celebrating 30 years
Wow.
of teaching.
Yay.
And yay.
Yes.
That's
a lot.
My daughter, she's like, you actually waited too long to start celebrating yourself, because you should have been celebrating yourself every 10 years.
That's
now
okay.
it's 30 years. And she's like, and I even had to remind you that you need to celebrate this 30 years. Because I still would have just kept on going and not.
Because you weren't doing it for the shine.
I wasn't doing it for the shine.
You were doing it for the love of it and the transformation that you may be seeing. But it's always good to kind of shout yourself out.
You have to celebrate those times.
Listen.
And that's part of leadership and part of growth.
Right. It's a part of growth to see
right.
that, you know what? Yeah, it's okay. Because some people think, well, I don't want to just make someone else feel. It don't matter. I'm doing this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And we have to learn that. But it takes growth, right? It takes growth. I wasn't always celebrating myself, so now what I do is on social media. I didn't do it for the last couple of months, but I'll celebrate myself.
Yeah.
What's happened in the month?
Oh yeah.
Everything may not have been great, but these are the things that did happen.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to focus on just all the negative.
Yeah.
No.
I still don't do that, but it's okay, because I feel like I do that with my podcast. I'm so busy with the podcast, writing my books, going to your book stuff.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
She will tell you, your boy know he great. And I'm going to let y'all know I'm great. And if you don't know I'm great, sit down. You got 35, 40 more hours, I got you. You're going to hear.
Yeah.
Listen,
so I don't do that.
I am a shameless self-promoter. You can't really see it, but there's a little crystal there. With the band, we celebrated 5 years. I got that for the band.
Nice.
At 10 years, I gave them little medallions. This year will be our 15th year. That'll be in August. They don't know it. I'm already cooking something up.
Okay.
Because,
you have to celebrate.
You need to celebrate those things.
Yeah.
That's part of being a leader. Being a leader is knowing how to celebrate those milestones and the people who
they will see that this has not been in vain.
Yeah.
And I also like to tell people this is the problem. It's not a problem with human. This is the way we're wired. It's the car analogy. You look at your windshield. You see how big that window is? Because you're wired to keep going forward.
Right.
You see the rear view mirror? How big is that thing?
Small.
Because we don't ever stop. And one of the things I like to do is I like to stop, turn around and look back and appreciate how far I've come.
Yeah.
Because when you stop for a minute, turn around and look back, because we're so busy, you're chasing that next big thing.
Right.
I need this. I haven't done this. I haven't done that.
Right.
Sometimes you just need to stop.
Slow down.
Turn around and look and go, look what you just said. You built this business. Look at the branches that came off of that. That's that stop moment. Turn around, look behind you. And these are the things I do. Now you turn and looking forward and you say, these are the things I want to accomplish.
Right.
But
There's still more to do.
It's about
Right.
being present in the moment.
Right, exactly.
And she'll tell you that's my favorite line, because I tell people, I say this wholeheartedly, and I believe this wholeheartedly. I said, I can't worry about the past because I can't change anything happened in the past.
No.
But I always need to remember and be aware of the past.
Right.
Honestly, I'm looking forward to the future, future ain't guaranteed.
Nope.
No.
All right,
No,
because
it's not.
we may walk out of here and that's it. But you know what we all have every single day? This moment right,
Right
now.
now.
And what do we
Appreciate it.
call it? Present.
Right.
And if you're present, be present in the moment.
Yeah.
That's why
Exactly.
people deal with me the way they do, because they know, yo, when AJ show up, you know the party lit, because
Right.
when he walk in the door, because I'm going to always be present in that moment.
Have you ever been to concerts recently where now the artists are going, hey, put your phones down, be present
Yes.
in the moment?
And they should
can't.
be.
You know, why are you with
I
the
know.
Hey,
phone?
look,
I
look,
know.
look.
The whole
I'm at
time.
the concert with, I'm at
The whole time
you
you're
know.
not even enjoying
Right.
the concert.
And they have to tell the people,
You
put
pay
your
good
phone
money
down.
for these seats.
That's
Why?
it. Put the phone down.
Yes, I will
Just
take
be
me
in the moment.
a couple pictures, and I like to take 2 video clips, and then after that, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to enjoy that show.
And I love that. I love that. Like now, I spend all the time with my granddaughter. When I'm with my granddaughter, you have to be present in that moment with her because she won't allow you
Oh, yeah.
to do anything else.
Yeah.
So I tell people all the time, like I tell y'all, I'm sorry I can't go because I have my granddaughter. I'm
Right.
sorry I won't be able to make it there because
Yeah,
I have
man.
my granddaughter.
Right.
Because and she demands that.
Which I love.
And yeah, he loves that.
Yeah.
And I watch her and I'm like, and maybe that's why Jesus said we need to be more like little children.
Yep.
Maybe that's the reason why. Because I watch her. And even when I want to take her picture, I'll say, "Oh, can I take your picture?" She'll say, "No, no pictures.
Yeah, man.
No, no
Be serious.
pictures." And she's serious with it
Yeah.
too. No pictures.
Oh,
She just wants you to play with her in
the
that
moment.
moment.
In the moment.
She just
Be
wants you to
present.
do what she's doing right now. And when she gets tired of that, she moves on to the next
Move
thing
to
and
the
she
next.
wants to take you with her.
Yeah.
And I always study her because I say, if Jesus tells us to be like little children, I need to study little children and see exactly how they move, so that I could copy them.
right. They have no worries. They're not
That's
worried
it.
about what's happening. Even just like, if someone showed up, they want to play. They're not asking all these questions. They're not looking at them. The only time they do things like that is because they've been taught that.
it.
Yep.
They've been shown that.
Yep.
Other than that, they just, who playing? Okay, we all playing together. That's what we're doing.
And
So
I'm also a firm believer when someone walks in the room, children have a wonderful antenna. They look, they're like,
yes.
So watch kids. They have that intuition that they know. Not
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
So watch them. Well, honey, we're coming up on that hour mark, so I think we
Okay.
can kind of see if we have some closing statements and any parting shots what Linda would like
Well,
to deliver to the masses.
Absolutely. And we always want our guests to give us our closing comments. So, Linda, all right, here's the question.
Okay.
What do you want to tell our listening audience out there? Or,
And visual audience.
yes, our invisible audience out there. It's not what you want to tell them. If give them some instructions a little bit about how they too can live their best life. And remember, this is not about riches and money and things like that. Just give us an example. Let them know out there, this is how you can live your best life with AJ and Karoline and Linda Miller.
I would say do what you want to do, how you want to do it. No holds barred. There's no right or wrong when it's your life. You don't want to do anything to hurt yourself, but you want to try what you want to try. You want to go where you want to go. You want to get to know who you want to get to know. And pick up those hobbies, because those are the things that you loved, but you put them aside because life started happening. Family, marriage, children, grands, all of these different things. But go back and find out, what do I actually like? What actually brings me joy? And then that will help you start living your life. That will really start if you go back to those things, those simple things. For me, it could be crocheting. I used to love it.
Yeah.
So now I went to a store and I saw that, this is where I can go get the yarn and the needles and everything from, because that was something common and soothing.
Yeah.
So you go find those things that bring you joy, and you don't have to bring the whole party. You don't have to ask, oh, AJ, well, what do you think? No, it's not about what AJ thinks. It's
Exactly.
about what I want and what I think. And I'm just going to do it, whatever it is. So that's what I would say, be present in those moments. And I always say your presence is the present, because you have to be able to give that to yourself all the time, every day, so that you can move forward and freely.
Okay. That's some great advice.
Yeah, man.
So if you listening out there, to all the people who are listening, because I know y'all listening to Karoline and AJ. We know you listening. Okay? So I want you to take the advice, because this is good advice, and we want you to live your best life. AJ, what do you got to say to the audience?
I just want to say this is my second time hanging with her, even though she dissed me when I was on the porch doing my flag thing. But I will tell you, when I met her the first time, we were on that rooftop enjoying some nice beverages out in Philly, and the scenery, you know, 4th of July, so it was awesome. So I was already in an excited state. But I have to tell you, everything that she has done today has trumped and I don't want to use that word, has superseded that event, because I feel like I'm peeling back the layers, and I'm getting a chance to know this person. And I love the things you're speaking. I love the journey you're taking. I especially love the way you spoke about your parents. I love what you said about the surgery being another turning point. And I love the work you're doing from that speech side, because that is not normal work. So that's incredible. And I also have no doubt that the day I get a chance to meet your daughter, I'm going to see everything you breathe into her, because she's going to be the way I see my wife with her daughter. That I can see that. So I just want to thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you're able to get your information out. And it has been my pleasure sitting here, partaking with you.
Thank you. I've enjoyed this. This has been awesome.
I know. I told you, like, everybody's all nervous and scared every time I invite them to come down and live their best life with Karoline and AJ. They're always like, what's it going to be like?
No, it's your energy. It's your. I'm feeding off of your energy.
Exactly. It's fun. We have lots and lots of
good
fun.
People.
We're good people. We're great people. We're great people.
Yes.
So before we get out of here, though, before I give this, the last words here, how can people find you? Like, you do coaching, right? So so tell us how we can participate.
Well, they can find me on Instagram at Linda Miller. I am Linda Miller on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn, Linda Miller, Time Management Coach. You can find me Happy Reading LLC. You can find my website, and you can book a call.
Right. Make sure you put all that in the bottom of that.
Yes.
In the bottom of this.
I have a little bio here, and then you can send me other stuff.
Yes.
But you have been listening to Living Your Best Life with Karoline and AJ. We're so glad you joined us here today. But before we actually leave, I want you to tell them what we're going to be doing tomorrow, because this podcast is going to be released tomorrow. So tell them what we're going to be doing tomorrow.
So, she'll get this together, she'll clean it up, and you folks will be able to hear this one tomorrow. But actually, tomorrow live, we'll be out at Orange Park. Actually, it's called Monty Irvin Park. Some people call it Orange Park in Orange, New Jersey, from 12 to 9. They are doing an incredible food truck and jazz festival, and they reached out to us to come out here the same way you're enjoying this podcast. They're going to have us out there doing a live podcast. So we're going to be out there. If you thought this was fun, we're going to be wilding out just like this out there.
Come join us.
So if you got nothing to do, come hang out with us.
Yes. We want you to be out there so that you can talk to us live. And Linda, we're inviting you too. So if you ain't doing nothing tomorrow between 12 and 9 o'clock, come on out and find us.
And we got to do justice. You got to do justice for our guest. She was wonderful. Let's clap it up one time for our incredible guest.
Yes.
That's wonderful information. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, you've been listening to Real Talk with Real People, Candid Conversations. This is our podcast, Living Your Best Life with Karoline and AJ. We want to thank you for joining us today. If you would like to be a guest on our show, just look at the comments field and click on the email address.
Right.
We'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.